Hey, good evening. I'm so glad that you guys are here to join me just to watch me talk a little bit more about math. So, what I'm going to do in addition to myself, I'm going to add my stream. So, today, this is not the first slide. Today, we're going to be talking about using a special add on Google Sheets called GoalSeek. And it's funny because when I learned about GoalSeek as a teenager or maybe college student, but when I learned about GoalSeek, I learned about it through Microsoft. But now that I'm older, I was like, can we do this on Google? And then found out I can actually do this on Google products. So let's take a look and let's get engaged to what's going on. So, what is GoalSeek? GoalSeek is an add-on that allows you to solve equations. Back in my days, I solved equations using a calculator. But now in these days, we can use a spreadsheet in order to solve an equation. And what is so good about using GoalSeek is the fact that you can practice middle school concepts such as order of operations. And also, another thing that makes it so amazing is the fact that you can use GoalSeek in order to prepare yourself if you like to become a computer programmer, in case if you want to create software. And creating software will allow you to make games, it will allow you to make even the next Google, make websites and everything just the way you want them to be made. So who uses GoalSeek? Anyone who really likes math that much. But I do want to add, even though I do have my students here, they will not be able to use GoalSeek simply because the district doesn't allow it. The only way they will be able to use GoalSeek is through a personal email account. Yes. So people are going to have to talk to each other, and we'll see if we can get that rolling out pretty soon where everyone can use GoalSeek. But if a student at Prince George's County Public School wants to use GoalSeek that badly, that student can actually go ahead and use it through the Microsoft app, and they have to download it on the computer. Next, when do you use GoalSeek? Hey, wow. Hey, it's so nice to see you guys here. Guys, you use GoalSeek whenever you are doing homework and you like, dang, that equation too hard. I'm just gonna be honest with you. That equation too hard. So let me see if I can slide over here and easily solve it. Now, where do you find GoalSeek? So on Microsoft Excel, you can click on data and click on what if analysis and GoalSeek. I purposely choose to talk about Excel first because we're not going to use it. Now, on Google Sheets, you can download the GoalSeek add-on, which I've already did. Open Google Sheets, which I already did. and also fill out the information needed, which will be discussed. So right here, what I'm going to do is I will actually have to do another share to demonstrate on GoalSeek, and that is something I did not know coming into the presentation. So I'm going to do a brand new share. So when I do a brand new share, I will definitely click on add-ons, GoalSeek, and then I will open it up. So I'm going to have this open for now while I get ready to share. Now back to the presentation. Why GoalSeek? GoalSeek is another way to differentiate. Okay? It's another way to differentiate. And what I mean by differentiation is just another way to teach the same thing that might interest somebody else. You know, it's another way to teach the same thing that may interest somebody else. Sometimes what we end up doing in schools is that we teach everything at a very slow pace. And we think, oh, this is going to help our students and whatnot. And then what happens is the students, they get bored and they're like, I can't use this. And this is not going to help me. So one thing I've learned in my teaching experience, sometimes when I taught quote unquote the more complex way, it really interested students because they're like, dang, that's raw. That's interesting. So with this method, you can understand more and get more of a feel of how equations are written before you solve them. Like for instance, a lot of people, when it comes to solving equations, they normally think that a 2x, they normally think that a 2x is just a 2 with an x, when it's really 2 times x. Now, this is the rundown of how we are going to use GoalSeek. First step, we're going to put in a cell any number that we want to guess. I chose an example of W5. Now, for step 2, we're going to go into another cell, which is normally the cell that I choose besides it. And we're going to replicate the equation without the equal sign. Normally, this is the left-handed side of the equation. Then we open up the GoalSeek add-on, and then we make the cell in step 2 the set cell. And in step 5, we make the other side of the equation, which should be a constant, which is a number by itself with no variable, the 2 value. And then we make the cell in step 1, we make that the by changing cell. And you're going to see more of this. And then 2, one thing I did was, excuse me, one thing I did earlier was I made step 3 step 1. So sometimes the steps are a little bit more interchangeable. So let's go ahead and explore. I'm going to demonstrate using GoalSeek at 3 different levels. The first level, thank you. The first level will be the elementary middle school level. Guys, looking at this, we already know the value of x. So what we're saying is something plus x x plus 5, which is something. Something plus 5 is equal to 20. we already know that that something may be 15. So let's stop to share a little bit and transition. Now, this time I'm going to share the whole entire screen so it could be easier to see. Everybody see my whole business. All right. So my first step, I'm just going to guess that X is 4. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to remake my equation. Every time, except for when I'm just working with a number, when I'm in this situation, every time when I'm in this situation, I'm just going to start with the equal sign. And the reason why I'm starting with the equal sign is because I can click on this to make it my X. Earlier, I said W5 as the example. Understand in front of VLOOKUP, we always go by letter and number. But let's see what happens if we don't do the equal sign. You see how that happens? If I don't do the equal sign and I click on this 4, it's going to be like, well, you wanted 4. But if I put equals, I can click this. Then this is my X plus the 5. So it's going to give us 9 because 4 plus 5 is 9. Now, I'm going to click here with set cell. And since I'm already on the cell that I want to set, I'm going to click this, the 4 square. And then I said that it was equal to 20. Now I'm going to click on this cell right here, 4, and I want this cell to change till I get the right answer. Now let's solve it. And you see how the 4 is changing? So you see, it has all these zeros after the decimal. You can basically say 15 and 20. And the reason why you see all these zeros and all these long decimals is because I was far away from the answer. Let's say if this time I made it that it was 12. Besides 4, I made it 12. We don't have to go through these steps again because it's already been set, which is amazing. And now how you see that is perfectly 15. So notice, the farther off your guess, the farther off your guess may be, the worse your answer will look. Now, what I want to do is give people a chance to give me a number that I should use to guess. Like in the chat, type in the number that I should use in the guess, and let's see what happens. Were you able to hear me? Just give me any number that I can use as my guess. All right. So let's try 6 this time around. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to solve. So that worked out pretty well. Anybody has another number? Let's try 46. So I'm going to say this. I believe the reason why this is working so well is because the answer was already 15. All right. So let's go ahead and just try 28 right here. Let's just try to rewrite the equation. Now this time around, I'm going to set my cell here. Now, this time around, I'm going to do my changing cell right here. And let's solve. Yeah, I believe that on this page, since that worked, because earlier when I tried to answer that was off, it didn't work this well. So I believe since on this sheet, since we already found the answer, it's like we already know what the answer is. So I thought that was pretty cool to play with that. All right, now we're going to take this up a notch to a level 2 problem. So on this level 2 problem, I'm going to take myself the liberty, which I could solve this right now. I could actually solve this right now using Gold Seed. Oops. Wrong tab. And notice this. Let me make these little changes right here because I didn't realize I was on the wrong tab. All right. Now, we're going to move on to a level 2 problem. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to recycle a guess from another student. Okay. I'm going to recycle a guess. So I'm going to temporarily stop sharing and look at the chat for the guesses. Oh, I like 67. I like 67 as a guess. So I'm going to go ahead and use that as my guess. I'm going to go ahead and use that as my guess. Okay, 84. 67, 84. I love those guesses. So for the last problem, I'm going to use 84. I promise that. So now this is where we get to the part where we're going to really focus on order of operations. This is the part where order of operations is going to be very important. As we quickly go back, notice I have x cubed in the beginning. Parentheses always go first. So what I'm going to do is take this is my x, then I'm going to raise this to the second power. I mean the third power, x cubed. Then I'm going to turn around. I'm going to multiply by 2 times x squared because I had 2x squared. And I have to press my shift 6. And this is why I show this trick a lot to my students. Then I have to subtract 3 times x minus 9. So you see how I get this big number, this huge number. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to set this as my set cell. Then I'm going to go down here and make this my by changing cell. And I said that it was equal to negative 15. So let's see what happens once we start solving. So notice I have negative 14.999. So what I can do is solve it again just to kind of get the answer that I want. I'm going to put 1.73. Why not? So this time I'm not working the computer too hard to solve my equation. Then I solve. So notice when I solve, I pretty much still got a number that was very close to 15. It was much closer than the last time. I can go and try one more time just for the heck of it. I'm going to try 1.732. Since I had 1.7319, I'm going to go ahead and try 1.732. So notice this is getting much closer. This value after the 9 is getting closer to the other 9. So I can keep on doing this. Yeah, this value right here. I'm seeing that on my own screen that I'm lagging. So see that I have 4 nines still this time around. And then after it, I have a 6. So this 6 is making this much closer to 15. So we tried enough guesses, and I'm going to move on to the last type of problem. Now we have a level 3 problem. And with this level 3 problem, what I did was I added cosine. Cosine is a special type of function that works with waves. Okay? It's a special type of function that likes to work with waves. So what I could do right here is go to Desmos and type cosine x. And as you can see, is a red wave. So you got bottom to top, bottom to top. And when you click on certain points, like this one, it tells you that the maximum is 1. Go down, the maximum is -1. So the highest the wave can go is up to 1, and the lowest the wave can go is to -1. We just got lucky on this one. Now, we're going to go ahead, have a special place for this level 3 problem. One thing that I can say I really like about this level 3 problem is that it's going to challenge me in the way that I use my parentheses in my order of operations. And what you guys will quickly see is that the parentheses are the most important part of the order of operation. But still, when you multiply, you cannot forget about your parentheses. So, guys, one more time, give me a guess. Okay, it really is, Mel. It really is. I love it. That is a real ugly function. And that's what I wanted to do for the level 3. I'm going to go with 2. We're going to use 2 as a guess. So with this ugly function, I am going to go ahead and do equals. I started off with 2x squared, and I have to do my times. Then I click here, since this is my x that I'm guessing. Then I'm going to subtract x times cosine. Oops, I should have put x right here. See, I almost made a mistake. Luckily, I caught myself. Times cosine of that. Now, notice, this is looking fairly decent right now, but I'm going to put parentheses over these because this is my numerator. Then I'm going to slash and do my denominator. So I have to do 3 times x. Oops, not x. I got to click on the 2 to make my x. Minus 1. And notice, if I do this now, Sheets will be very nice to me and allow me to close the parentheses. Or it'll be nice to do it for me. But I know to close my parentheses, but let's see what happens. Back in my days, Sheets wasn't as nice. Excel wasn't as nice to me. They wouldn't have done the parentheses. They would have been like, you know what? That's your loss. You did not do your parentheses correctly, so you have to get a big old error message. So let's go ahead and set our cells. This cell right here to the right, I'm going to set it. And then this cell to the left, I'm going to set it here. All right. Now, I said this was almost equal to 3.5613. So let me go ahead and solve. So notice, I have a number that's very close to pi when I try 2. I have a number that is very close to pi when I try 2. So what they're saying is x is equal to 3.16. In class, we talked about pi being 3.15927, and that's as far as I could go. All right. And what I can do is, if I want to try pi, I can press equals right here. I can erase this, and then I can press equals pi, then parentheses, parentheses. And look, it already kind of works. It kind of works. That's pretty cool. I really don't have to use GoldSeek, but why not? So there you go. Now it gives me 3.14147. But now we know that the answer is very close to pi. And that's all we need. So even though we dealt with an ugly function, I'm not done working with you guys right now. Now we have a bonus problem. And the reason why I wanted to do a bonus problem is because I wanted to give a problem that says more middle school. And what is more middle school than fractions? Like in middle school, you have to learn how to work with fractions. Since this is a live extra credit event, I'm going to be nice enough not to quiz you. Notice that we have whole numbers and we have a coefficient variable pair where one of the pair is a whole number. Normally with a whole number, the denominator is 1, which is why we don't include it. But then we have a denominator that is 3, 2 of them. Now my question is this, you know what, why not? What is the least common multiple between 1 and 3? What is the least common multiple between 1 and 3? And anybody can answer. I see. I had to double check. Did somebody know this or not? So the least common multiple between 1 and 3 is 3. 1 times 3 is 3. And that's the least common multiple. So let's look at some steps it took to solve this problem. Wow, my leg is bad. All right, the first step. Since the least common multiple is 3, I have to multiply the whole thing by 3. 3x times 3 is 9x. 5 times 3 is 15. Now on the other side, 1/3 times 3 is just 1. Since I have 1/3 x, I'm just going to put x. 7 over 3 times 3 is just simply 7. Okay, now we can take a break since that has disappeared and we have been washed away of using the LCM. Now, when it comes to my next step, I am going to simply subtract 15 on both sides. That's it. I'm subtracting 15 on both sides and that's it. And the reason why I'm subtracting 15 on both sides is because I want all of my numbers on the right-hand side. That's normally my style. Someone else may want to subtract 7 on both sides because they want all the numbers without a variable to the left. So after I did that subtraction, this is what I got. I had 9x equals to x minus 8. Now this time, since I want the minus 8 by itself, I'm subtracting x on both sides. Now, with that being said, I keep it as 9x minus x equal to negative 8. So let's find out what that will equal to. And in the spirit of being backwards, let me place this right here. So give me a guess for 9x minus x. Let's get a guess for 9x minus x. I might have to look in the archives for a guess. I'm feeling like picking 84. Why not? Let's pick 84. So I'm going to have 9 times 84 minus 84. And the reason why I put it like this is because I just did not want to solve the equation all the way, and I knew that I could go ahead and finish the problem without solving the equation all the way. So let's go ahead and use Goal Seek. This is our set cell. And notice this, I'm on the bonus tab and I'm in cell B2. It writes bonus in single quotes with an exclamation B2. Now I'm going to say to negative 8 because I had that equal to negative 8. Then finally, I'm going to go ahead and set that as my changing cell. Now it is time to use Goal Seek for the last time for the day. So notice how we have this long decimal train that's very close to negative 8, even though we said negative 8. So what I could do is pick a number closer, and let's say negative 1.5. And then we go ahead and do it one more again. And see how it goes straight to negative 1. So guys, as you can see, there are very few drawbacks to using Goal Seek. The thing is with Goal Seek, it takes the answer you give it and it keeps on calculating over and over and over again until it either gets tired or give you the correct answer. That's all that's going on. So sometimes you might have to use it more than once before you get an answer. But see how quickly we solve problems. And we're talking about solving problems, 4 different problems within 39 minutes, just by using computer coding. All right. Now, before I let you go, I have just one question. Given this equation, 4x plus 4 equal to 2x minus 2, do I have to use any properties of equality? Do I have to use any properties of equalities? Or do any math to the equation below before using Goal Seek? You know what? Let me show one more time. So looking at the equation I have, do I have to do any math to this to solve it before I use Gold Seed? Do I have to do any math before using Gold Seed? Okay. We got a no in the crowd. Anybody else want to try? Anybody else brave enough to try? You guys ready to hear me respond? Let me switch my camera real quickly. So the equation we have is 4x plus 4 is equal to 2x minus 2. Notice I have a variable on two sides of the equal sign. I could theoretically use goal seek at this case. But the problem is I have a variable. I need one side to be constant. Both sides have a variable. So that's the problem. So what I have to do is bring this variable on the other side. So I'm going to use the subtraction property of equality to get rid of this and have 2x plus 4 is equal to negative 2. So yes, the answer was yes. We had to do some math before we could use Goal Seek. So the answer was actually yes. Okay? We had to go ahead and do a little math before we could use Goal Seek. So yeah, that's all to it. So what I'm going to do for my students who are PGCPS students, what you can do is go to the top of the comments where it says Global Gag. What I'm going to do right now is open up the quiz for your extra credit. I'm going to go ahead and open up your quiz for your extra credit almost at this moment. Yeah, it shouldn't be that tough of a quiz at all. I designed it so you guys could easily get the extra credit. I hope. Okay. Some people already took it, so I had it open. So go ahead, take the quiz. Let's see how many points you can get. And I see. Oh, Lord. What I'm going to do is the following. Since I opened it up for everybody, please do not take the quiz yet. So what I'm going to do is go ahead and cancel this real quickly. I'm going to delete all the responses because I can't track this down to who did this so I could get their emails. So let me go ahead and make a quick change to this. There you go. So go ahead and put your email as your name. So those who already took it, go ahead and take it. So I actually erased people's responses because I had to have it connected to something. I couldn't just give the extra credit away. But some people, I can see you guys are doing. So go ahead and take the quiz. And after you take the quiz, that's about it. I am going to play some outro music. And it's been real cool. It's been real cool having you guys here, taking the time to view and learn more about how you can do math, to see the places where math can take you.